What up YouTube, my name's SKYBOT, I'm an artist from New Jersey, and today I'm going to be taking a stab at my first painting. So I actually make a lot of art. I've been drawing and creating digital art for a long time, but I've, for some reason, never actually tried painting in the traditional style. So I'm going to give that a shot today, and hopefully it goes well. So I started off by spray painting this wood panel. I did a gradient between gold and silver, and I would actually recommend sealing your wood panel or canvas before you do anything like this, because it's going to make the panel or canvas way smoother, and it's going to make your life a lot easier when painting. And I kind of found this out the hard way since this is my first painting. So this is an original character that I was kind of creating here, and I'm just sketching it out. And this character was inspired by the design which kind of started the SKYBOT project, which is the greenish teal face with the 4 eyes. And that's something that I've been doing recently, and it kind of gives it this alien or otherworldly look, which I thought is really cool. And I also added a katana in her hands to kind of make her look powerful and just to give her a cool pose to be in. So as I was putting this character down onto this wood panel, I was realizing that it kind of had this similar look to those religious kind of prints and paintings that you see sometimes in churches, where there's the God figure or a religious figure on top of a gold leaf. So I decided to do the circle around the head to kind of give it this halo and to make it look like a kind of godly or all-powerful character. So here you see me starting the geometric design, and this is something that I've been doodling and drawing and sketching for years and years. It's just kind of this geometric pattern that interlaces with each other, and they're all different, and it just gives the character some separation from the background, and it adds to that ornate look that's kind of going with the style that I had in mind for this piece at this point. So I started to add color. I'm using a regular acrylic paint. It was just a pretty cheap paint. In the future, I've already purchased some golden fluid acrylics. This is just a normal body paint. It didn't work out the best. It was kind of thin, and I had to do multiple layers in order to get a nice clean color. So I laid down the skin tone and the color of the shirt or the top, and I'm starting to do the hair here. And at first I left the eyes open because I was thinking that would be easier, but it was just too hard to shade around it, and I decided to just fill in the face and do that at the end. So you see me doing the hair here, and I'm just laying out the outline of the piece. And little trick, use a hair dryer to speed up the drying process if you're antsy and you have no patience like I do. But I'm just adding some layers, adding a little white each time to the hair in order to have the same tone, but to bring out some highlights and to really make it pop. And I'm just filling in the neck and the body, and I think in a second here, yep, here we go, I'm starting to add some shading. And to be honest, I had no idea what to expect coming into this. Painting is totally different than drawing with a pencil or pen or even markers. The way you have to go about shading is totally different, so this was totally new to me. But I kind of learned as I went along. I used the same method I did on the hair, but a little more subtly, just adding slight bits of white to bring out the tone of the skin and add those high and low areas of shadow and highlight. So I'm actually using a toothpick here to do the face, because I just did not trust my control of a paintbrush. So in order to be safe, I just did it slowly with a toothpick. After finishing 2 paintings now, I'm a little more confident with the brush, and I think I'd be confident enough to do those small details. So right now I'm doing the shading on the katana. This is a very graphic piece, so I didn't do any heavy shading. It's a lot of just pretty much straight lines between color value, but I think it worked out in the end, and I'm relatively satisfied with how it looked. And at this point, I'm kind of struggling to figure out how to shade the pants area. This paint, these 2 colors were not really blending well, and it took me a while to get that looking the way I was happy with. I also want to give a shout out to 1000. The colors of the skin in this piece were inspired by his art, so go check out his YouTube channel. He's an incredible artist and YouTuber. And here I decided to use a little bright red accent. The piece felt a little monochromatic and a little dull for my taste.
So I thought a nice pop of red on these straps. I'm not really sure what they are. I just thought it kind of looked cool. But I decided to go with red. It matches the lips, brings a little pop of color and interest. So I'm doing the same technique as I did for the skin, but in opposite here. So I'm adding a little bit of purple and a tiny bit of black to the shirt to give a little bit of shading. So at this point, I was pretty happy with how it turned out, but I felt like it was just a little sloppy and rough around the edges. So I decided to go in with a black paint marker and clean up those edges and give it a more smooth and refined look. I also kind of thought this added to the graphic and almost comic book or cartoony style that this piece had, and I like the contrast between that cartoony anime comic style and the background, which is kind of ornate and regal looking. So in the end, I guess you could say I'm happy with the black outline. I kind of wish I had a thinner marker because it's all the same width. Right after I was done with this painting, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna order some more art materials because this would have been way easier if I had done my research and prepared. So in the future, better quality's coming, and yeah, I know what I'm doing a little bit more. But just finishing up here, I think I'm gonna add a little bit of outlines to the hair, just finishing up the body, and after these small details in the hair, I think this piece is done. So let me know if you guys enjoyed this style of video or what you want to see from me in the future, and I think it's time to show you guys the final shots.
Alright, so here's the final product. I'm pretty happy with it. For my first painting, I think it turned out pretty decent. Obviously there's a lot I can improve on, and you know, it's not the cleanest ever, and I obviously I didn't have to, but I decided I would do some black lines around it because I didn't have the cleanest lines, and that's probably because I didn't actually prep this canvas. I kind of just went in and winged it. You know, for next time, I'm gonna prep the canvas. It'll allow me to have much cleaner lines, and it'll give me an easier time. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, please feel free to drop a like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.